Well, first of all, it takes passion. You truly have to believe in the music that you are representing. Secondly, you have to have the trust of the guys that you're dealing with. If you don't have their trust, you cannot represent them. You also have to trust them, because this business being what it is, as soon as they get a break, all the sharks come around and it's very easy for you to get dumped. So you have to there has to be a two-way trust going on here. If you notice, if you look at the history of management, there are two different kinds of managers. There are the kind of managers like U2's manager, Bob Seger's manager, where one manager manages one band for their entire career. And then there are the management houses, where a group of people get together and they manage a whole load of bands, maybe not only bands, but TV people and movie people. And they have all kinds of in-house organs like promotion staff and art staff. As a manager, you have to decide what way you're going to go. If you want to be a one-man, one-band kind of manager, you can do it yourself. You can learn with the band. There are enough people out there that have done it. It can be done. You have to be open. You have to be prepared to look like an idiot. You have to be prepared to knock on every door you can. But you have to learn. Now, there are several books. I think I've said this before. There are several books around that will tell you what the basics are. And after that, you just have to pick up the phone and call. One of the things that a manager has to do is to learn cold calling, because really a manager's job is to get other people to do the jobs that they're being paid for. That means you've got to call people, constantly asking for help, constantly understanding what the market is, and knowing how to offer a proposition to somebody which is a two-way proposition where both parties profit. The one thing a manager has to learn to do is to do without credit, because no matter who you are and no matter who the band is, it is highly unlikely that you're ever going to be credited with having done anything, because it is your job to make the band look the best that they can be, and you have to sublimate your own ego to theirs in order to do your job properly. But the whole idea is to get to know as much as you can about the business. And the business is changing so much that you can know everything there is to know about today's business probably easier than a guy like me that's been doing it for 30-something years, because I've got ideas about the business that may well not be correct in 2005. It is very important that you know the basic numbers in contracts. And again, Don Passman's book is the best one about this. It's written by one of the best attorneys in the business. It goes through all forms of contracts, the team, all of that. It's a very easy book to read on 3 different levels. I won't take on a client unless they've read it. So you go out, you buy that book. That will lead you to several other books. Once you've got the numbers in your head, you have to get great advice. So you can only afford to have the best attorney. You can't afford to go with some kid that doesn't really know what he's doing, who wants to learn the business. His job is to go into a firm and learn the business. You need to talk to somebody who has done a contract yesterday or is doing a contract today. Somebody who's never worked a contract is going to be as blindsided as you are. So you have to learn. And as I say, apprenticeship is the easiest way, because you can sit at a master's feet and you can learn from him and you can see his mistakes. I think a musician has a very difficult road to follow. To be driven by a muse that demands that much love from an audience makes your life extremely difficult. And my biggest single piece of advice is to cherish your friends and your family. If you make it, if you become a star, the people who you will attract as friends and family then will never be as trustworthy as the ones that knew you before you were a star.